Hello everyone, this is Speculative here, and as you know, Monday is yet upon us, and today it's a sad day because all the speculations that I've done is all with excitement and wondering and imagination, but this one is a little bit sad one because of the nature of the content. So, today I'm going to speculate about the Mass Effect Andromeda's DLC. It's kind of in a debate right now between the fans, between the developers, and between the publishers themselves, whether to do a single player DLC or not. And basically, what a DLC is, obviously a downloadable content for all the games, and it's a necessary for all the games as well. Every games as a DLC to just keep them in a flux. For example, when XCOM Enemy Unknown released, Enemy Within was a DLC, and it kind of kept the gamers in a flux, and the modders helped with that by long war. So they kind of had like 2-3 years of bridge, which led them to XCOM 2, and because the fans were thinking about the game, playing the game constantly, they kind of played XCOM 2 as well, which again was a great success. And like similarly, like that, Witcher 3 DLCs like gave 60 hours of content. So every one of them has a DLC, even including the Mass Effect franchise. Like Mass Effect 2 had a DLCs, Mass Effect 1 had DLCs, and Mass Effect 3 had DLCs. One of them was forced to be released, but it was free, obviously, due to the controversial ending of the game. But they do release DLCs for all the games. That's my point, I guess. And during the Mass Effect 3 controversy, they kind of released a Citadel DLC, which to me is the best DLC out there, just because of the content and just because of the action packed content. And not just that, after everything is done, like every action is done, you kind of get to mellow down, chill out, literally party with your teammates. And not just that, at the ending of the DLC you will take a photo with your teammates. The romantic interest of your character in the game will look at your partner, and everyone else will be standing there, and they will say Normandy, and then they will take a picture, which to me kind of showcased the greatness of the game and the brilliance of the developers, who kind of made us feel like, okay, they really care about the characters, they really care about the game and stuff like that. But when you do remove that aspect of DLC from the game is not going to be remembered by many. Obviously, people are saying like they want the fans to forget about this disaster, but to me that's a bad idea for everyone, because the game, no one can say it's a bad game. Okay, Mass Effect Andromeda is not bad, it's just missed the mark. That's what I'm saying. Like, when you get your games like 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10, and then you get a 7 out of 10 or 6 out of 10, that's a bad business right there. And that's not Mass Effect. And they kind of concentrated on other games rather than concentrating on Mass Effect, which kind of screwed up their plan. I mean, the games that comes out like indie games, even some other RPG games from normal producers, normal publishers, the game animations look really well done. But when you look at Mass Effect Andromeda's animation, it kind of screwed up. I mean, they told this before when they released the trailer, cinematic trailer, and they said, okay, there are issues with this, guys. Please do change it out, and take time if you want, and release as a great game. But they didn't take the time. They were like, no, 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 we will just change it up. But no, they were like released 3 or 4 patches from the game's release date, and now the game looks okay. But when you do that, that's not a great business idea. I mean, if your patches are bettering the changing what you have already done or repairing what you have already done is bad. It should enhance what you have already done. That's patches are there for. And DLC should make people remember, go back to the game. They would have finished the content and they would have just gone to another game. So you are releasing a DLC which should bring them back to the game, and they are not going to do that. The DLC is really a big controversy going on right now. Everyone is talking about it. They were like, it's not going to happen, and they are saying like, no, 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 it's going to happen. Stuff like that. People are saying for and against. But the developer said we are taking care of the game. We are going to release a DLC and stuff like that. But to me, all this anger is tough love, because it's my favorite franchise and it's my favorite games of all time. And when they do stuff like this, it really pisses me off. Like, 6 out of 10 is not that bad, and 7 out of 10 is not that bad. But when you get a 10 out of 10 and then you go back and then get 7 out of 10, that's just that's pretty annoying, you know. You're already there. It's an exciting franchise, an existing franchise, and you should release games that are building upon the franchise, not destroying it. That's my whole point of the video. So the speculation is basically whether they are going to be a DLC or not. I'm following closely on Twitter and Instagram. There's no sort of photos release, no quotes from the developers and stuff like that. Nothing. There's literally a wall of silence between us and them. And I have a standard edition of the game, so I need to purchase the DLC, and I should know whether it's worth to purchase or not. But I don't know if they are making a DLC or not. That's the point. And not just that, the Mass Effect game is going to be a trilogy. Obviously, BioWare always makes trilogy games, so Mass Effect Andromeda 2 or 3 is going to come, obviously. But whether they are going to be worth it, whether they are working on it perfectly or not, is anybody's guess. I mean, these games are going to come out in 2019 or 2022. Whether people will buy it, like 2 years is still there for the next games to come out. Like next year they will release Anthem probably, and then after that, to 2020, let's say they're gonna release Mass Effect Andromeda 2. And they need to keep the people in flux for 3 years. New game is obviously good, but it's not in the same franchise. Okay, so people from this franchise who likes to play Mass Effect, if you don't give them any DLCs, multiplayer DLC is different. Multiplayer DLCs are for fun, not for story. Mass Effect single player DLC should come out. That's my final verdict. They should release a DLC. If not, the game's gonna be forgotten, and when they release a new game, it's not gonna create the hype that it did for Mass Effect Andromeda because of the previous successes. And when they look at the previous success, there was none. So thank you guys. This small speculative one. What do you think about it? Like, should they release it? Should they not release it? I don't know. Tell me in the comments down below. Hang out with me at Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Reddit. Check out my blog and stuff like that. Like, share, subscribe. I'll see you next time. Bye.